Oakley Viaduct sits on what is now known as the Midland Main Line, which was built in the years of 1856 to 1857. The viaduct consists of 9 brick arches which measure over 406 feet, carrying the railway over the River Ouse. Control of the line was taken over by the London, Midland and Scottish Railways upon the groupings of 1922, which in 1935 introduced the Stanier Class 8F, a 280 tender engine designed by William Stanier for heavy goods work. Measuring over 63 feet long and weighing in at over 72 tons, 853 of these engines were built by 1946. The Midland Main Line came under the control of the British Railways upon nationalisation in 1948, and was still operating the 8Fs on the line running through in 1949. On the 4th of October 1949, 2 of several goods trains were travelling up the Midland Main Line. The first of these was the 12:40 p.m. goods train from Wellingborough to Brent. This train consisted of 61 wagons and a brake van, being hauled by an unidentified 8F. The second train, also travelling from Wellingborough to Brent, was the 1:35 goods train consisting of 58 wagons and a brake van, being hauled by 8F number 48644. This train had a combined weight of 1,047 tons. Shortly before 2 p.m, 3 goods trains were blocked back between Sharnbrook and Oakley on the up goods line, as the signalman at Oakley Junction was unable to accept any more trains on the line at that moment in time. With one of these goods trains being transferred to the up passenger line, the 12:40 p.m. train, which was the rearmost of these trains, moved up to the inner home signal where it came to a stand, with the rear of its train on Oakley Viaduct. Back down at Sharnbrook, Signalman H. Gray was coming to the end of his shift. At about 1:55 p.m, Signalman T. H. Bailey arrived to relieve him, coming on duty at 1:57 p.m. In handing over, Gray filled Bailey in the current situation on the line, including that there were currently 3 trains on the up goods line, and he had not received the train out of section signal from Oakley Station for an up express train, as well as informing him about trains on the down lines. Then Gray left the box at about 2:04 p.m, leaving Bailey to tend to his duties alone. Before Gray left, the train out of section signal came from Oakley Station for the express on the up passenger line. Here, things get a little confused, but at this point Bailey believed he had received 2 train out of section signals for both the up passenger and up goods line, when he had only received 1 for the aforementioned up passenger line. At 2:07 p.m, the soldier up signal box belled through the 1:35 goods train on the up goods line. Believing the line between Sharnbrook and Oakley was clear, Bailey lowered all of the signals and allowed the train to run right through Sharnbrook at 2:10 p.m, at a speed of between 35 to 40 miles an hour, without slowing it down or conveying any instructions to the crew. Further up the line at Oakley Viaduct, Guard Cobb had left his brake van and was standing between the up passenger and up goods line with his red flag in hand. At around 12:14 p.m, Cobb saw the 1:35 goods train emerge from underneath Bridge 50 and started to walk towards it, expecting it to slow down to a stand at the distant home signal. When the engine was somewhere near the line side water tank, he realised it was going too fast and ran towards it waving his flag. The train would run right past him at around 30 miles per hour with its brakes hard on, colliding into the rear of the stationary train at 2:15 p.m. The brake van and the last 2 wagons were completely destroyed, with 2 more heavily damaged, but Guard Cobb would escape without injury. Engine 48644 derailed and went over the side of the bridge, landing on the riverbank below with 14 of its wagons. The engine's driver and fireman were killed instantly. The train's guard, Alfred Hedge, whose quick thinking with a handbrake prevented any further damage, survived with only minor injuries. A report into the accident by Colonel D. McCullen was published on the 8th of December 1949. The main cause of the accident was clear. Signalman Bailey had allowed the 135 goods train to pass through Sharnbrook under clear signals when it should have been brought to a stand and warned of the situation on the line ahead. It came to light that Bailey had set off late on his 11-mile cycle ride from his home to Sharnbrook signal box that day, the weather of which was unusually hot for that time of the year. He managed to make up time but was exhausted and most likely dehydrated by the time he came on duty. This, with the block irregularity, made him confused and, in his own words, a bit flustered. Not helping the situation was the telegraph system, which only used 2 bells to work 4 lines, which was bound to lead to misunderstandings. McCullen recommended that the system be modernised. He also recommended that goods should be offered in advance to the box, rather than being belled on. Also, that the practice of signalmen using the block bell to get the adjacent signalman to contact them on the omnibus telephone was undesirable, as this may have been the source of the mistaken second train out of section signal. Number 48644 was repaired and put back into service, running until 1966, when it was withdrawn and scrapped. Oakley Viaduct was cleared and repaired within a couple of days of the accident, with the aid of over 200 men. And, over the time of this video, it is still in use today.